After unforeseen circumstances, Isagi is now the sole striker of his team, surging through the defense. With his nervous teammates almost costing him the game and still relying on him to dominate, he looks at the scoreboard. Both teams are neck in neck. Anyone could win, it seems. Isagi has everything and yet nothing to lose. He's the best. He has a reputation to protect, and he must win at all costs. Looking at the scoreboard again, he realizes that he needs one more goal to win nationals. His arch nemesis, Kira, paces through the field, kicking the ball from one leg to the other, taunting the opposing players with one Ronaldo chop and a step over, until Isagi is now face to face with the goalkeeper. With Kira surging forward towards him, Isagi fears nothing. He glares into the keeper's eyes, with drops of sweat falling gracefully from his forehead. The keeper is awed by Isagi's flair as he puts his game face on, not willing to lose. With a sudden rainbow flick, the keeper rushes forward and leaps, but misses. He is no match for Isagi, who quickly blasts the ball into the goal. 2-1. Sue! Isagi gave his team a lifeline, carrying them all the way to the finals, and now they had won the nationals. Looking around to catch Kira in his side, he smirks, in full knowledge that once again he has destroyed Kira's dreams to win the game, to be a better striker than him. His team cheers as they're lifting the trophy in the air, but Isagi can't help feeling sort of empty, deflated. He worked hard for this moment, so he doesn't know why he felt this way. This wasn't the usual feeling of winning, of celebrating another victory. It felt too easy, simple, too predictable. So he had beaten Kira, as he expected he would, but he knew he wasn't on his level of greatness. Kira was a decent player, but Isagi could crush him in his sleep. Now Isagi thought, what else is there to give? He had just won the nationals. He was the man who had it all. He was certain that he could be scouted for a big team one day and play for Japan. He had a certain unexplainable gut feeling that night. Suddenly, he felt the urge to win more games and build a legacy, the desire to be at the top and stay there, crushing everyone in his way. He wanted desperately to be the man to win the World Cup and be the top contender as one of the historic GOATs. He'll do anything to do it, and that's when his life and career was about to change, forever. All of a sudden, he is given a letter. Project Blue Lock? A letter? What's this about? Isagi wondered as he stared at the carefully sealed letter with his name printed on it. This had to be really important considering it was from the Japanese Football Association, which meant he had to go to Japan. He spent all night thinking of the letter, contemplating what could happen to him, until the sun rose again, and a new day had begun. Outside the gate, he sees a familiar but angry face. It was Kira. With eyes of hatred, his face a mask of envy, Kira glared at him. Ah, great, you're here too? Kira sarcastically asks. Project Blue Lock, what are you doing here? You know anything about it? Said Isagi, curious and baffled. No, I don't, Kira replies. There was a tense, awkward silence in the air between them. That was a good game, Kira said, slowly reaching his hand out to Isagi. It kills me to say this, but with all that sportsmanship rubbish they feed us constantly, I have to admit that you're a good player. Reluctantly, Isagi shakes his head. You're right, I am good. If not, better, Isagi coolly replied, which made Kira regret complimenting him. Let's find out what this is all about, and go in then. Kira said. Isagi agreed. As they both opened the doors, they suddenly met with hundreds of enigmatic faces, silently staring at them with dead eyes. Excited, Kira notices a majority of these players, some of them his heroes as he points them out to Isagi one by one. Isagi, however, is not that interested. His attention is elsewhere. Okay, so I'm guessing this is the place I'm gathering of strikers from different schools. But why? Isagi then notices something strange in the midst. Something peculiar. The stares in his presence did not face directly to both of them. They were all directed at him. Everyone now glared at Isagi, their dead eyes now burning with pride and disdain. Isagi just smiled, shouting out loud across the room.
Stare directly into my anus, bitch.
From there, a strange man walked into the room. The heels of his shoes clicked and echoed. Who is he? That was when Isagi realized who he was indeed. A tryout to recruit the best player in the world. Isagi rolled his eyes. He wasn't scouted for a big team, but had to prove himself once again that he was worthy. The strange man now raised his voice high. Congratulations for being here. I am Jinpachi Ego, and I have personally selected all 300 of you to win a high-stakes opportunity to become the greatest ever striker in the world. As Ego continues to explain the opportunity, Isagi smirked and had a certain excited look in his eye. This is it, Isagi thought. Now this is exactly what I've been looking for. Everything will now come into fruition to crush all these so-called best players of the game and become invincible. To be one of the GOATs. The guy Ego is right. This is everything I needed. Momentarily distracted, he then hears Ego say,
Now pass through and be transformed. Discard your common sense. Remember, out there on the field, you're the star. Nothing should bring you more joy than your applause. Live only for that glorious moment. And if you can't, then you're no striker at all.
Dazzled by Ego's words and now grinning from ear to ear, Isagi leaves Kira behind and dashes through the crowd. Running to realize his dream to be the best and crush everyone in his path, but as he runs, he sees an aura at the corner of his eye, an emanation of the Ego. He doesn't know who the Ego is or what the Ego wants, but his gut tells him that this man must be really good. Isagi ignored it and simply smiled.